Exactly.
Gorgeous.
We're just discussing the benefits of being killed by a predator or a xenomorph. Welcome!
I think predator.
I think we both think
We
predator.
both think
You're more
predator.
useful. Hello, all of the internet. We are live, not only on Beacon, but on Twitch and YouTube for this very special Fireside chat. So thank you for being here. Thank you for having me. Thanks everyone else for being here. And you aren't only hanging out with me, as I just said. You're also hanging out with this guy, Brennan Mulligan, who is the GM for Campaign 4.
Hello! Oh my gosh! A pleasure, an honor, a privilege, a gift, a joy.
It's a lot of phrases there. But if you don't know by now, you may very well be living under a rock-shaped D20.
Or a rock-shaped D20.
Yeah.
Rock-shaped D20. That's
Don't think about it too
like
hard.
a Manchurian Candidate activation phrase. What does it mean to be rock-shaped? Rocks are... Okay, or maybe... off the grid crafting American Girl doll shoes, but who's to say? Man, this bit has knocked Rosette Spoonbills right out of the picture. It's all girl doll shoes now.
It's okay. I'm marked for the next 2 years, so I'm there with you. But who's to say? For those who don't know, who want to quick catch up, Campaign 4 is coming from Brennan as a wonderful GM.
And Matt will be a player in a long-form campaign. Oh my God.
So freaking excited.
His character, man. His character, man. I'm not gonna lie to you, dude. It's really good. It's really good. I don't know what I'm allowed to say, so I'm not gonna say shit, but it's really good. Oh, I say more. Along with the core cast that we know and love. When it says Brennan, that's what I'm supposed to say. Along with the core cast that we know and love, plus more faces, rounding out to a hot 14 people. 14.
That's a lot of people.
That's the number that sets out from Bag End at the beginning of The Hobbit.
Look at that. Oh my
How
goodness.
about it?
And they all made it back fine. That's a lot of people, though. But not only do you have that to look forward to, you also have a whole brand spanking new world from this boy.
Got that New World smell. Aram that will be played in D&D 2024 edition, baby. Aram with it. It's got an accent over the third A.
That's how you know it's fantasy.
That's how you know it's fantasy.
We touch on this and a bit more about the world and what is in Campaign 4 in a video that we dropped earlier today that you can find on our YouTube channel or on Beacon. So if you haven't checked it out, you don't watch it right now because we're talking here, but go watch it after. It'll be waiting for you.
I'm going to say something. I have to say something real quick.
Yeah.
The video that was made for the announcement today, do yourself a favor, go watch it. I have done some video projects over these last some odd years, and I'm like, oh, like a BTS hype video, got it. The team here at Critical Role put this video together. The BTS, the footage, the B-roll footage, everything in it, it is so well put together. Clara Daly's concept art. I was blown away, man. Team fucking knocked it out of the park with this.
Everyone here, everyone in production,
Woo!
far and wide here are really awesome. I'm so proud of them.
Incredible. Shout out to the crew for putting that amazing video together.
yeah.
And it really answers all the questions, except for the ones that we're going to answer right now.
Those that we can.
Now that we're caught up, Matt, why are we here?
Well, this endeavor, it's a lot of new. It's a lot of exciting. It's a lot of changes. And wanted to kind of open up the combo to our community with us so we can answer most of your burning questions. Of course, what we're allowed to and what we want to keep mysterious until it's time to unveil. But that's what this Fireside Chat's all about. Yeah.
Hell yeah. This is basically I think for the people that are like super duper down and want to get into the nitty gritty of some of the stuff that we talked about today. The video does a great job of giving you an overview of a lot of the exciting things coming your way. But for those that like an added level of specificity and depth, and sometimes not just the what, but also the why, I think this is a lovely opportunity for that. So without further ado, let's jump into it.
Hell yes. I'm going to go ahead and kick this off with a question I've seen come up often and one that was part of our initial discussions here. Brennan, why West Marches?
The West Marches camp. I'm doing the Orson Welles from the wine commercial. The French. Why West Marches? Well, what's very cool about this is as you know, Matt, myself, all of you at home that are watching that are forever DMs, you know, you've got a million worlds locked and loaded in the chamber ready to go. But one of the things that's really exciting about a new project when you feel like you just want to play with your friends, is you can allow the logistical parameters of a new adventure, a new game, a new story to kind of help dictate some of the creative. I actually find the logistical parameters really helpful because otherwise you're looking at a blank page, which is terrifying. So a lot of this was the what were the things that like Matt and Travis and Marisha were talking to me about as I was originally pitching this idea, was essentially things that gaming groups have dealt with since time immemorial. Creators that are incredibly busy. It's pretty awesome that the creators of Critical Role get to be busy with more Critical Role. That's pretty cool.
Very grateful. Very tired.
Very grateful. Very grateful, very tired. That's the hashtag. Put it on the headstone. But the very grateful, very tired, very busy. So busy schedules and having so many people that you want to play with. We saw today, for those that missed the announcement, Robbie Damon, Abria Iyengar, Luis Carrazzo, Alex Ward, Whitney Moore, all these amazing people coming and joining the game. So like, it didn't take looking that far. Anytime you look for a like production solution, you actually kind of look at gaming solutions. What have gaming tables done? It's not like gaming groups in history haven't gotten busy before, or had, you know, tons of friends that wanted to play more than can fit at a single table. So West Marches was the solution from within the hobby for exactly the parameters that existed for Campaign 4. And it was kind of, I think, an extremely straightforward answer to how to tell a good story, how to keep everybody playing their favorite like game together, and how to do that in a way that satisfied all of these larger umbrella of how do we support the animated shows, how do we support Darrington Press, how do we support our long-running game. All of that got answered by West Marches because that's how the hobby has already been answering this question. And then that's what I originally pitched. Was West Marches, I think, for those reasons. And also, it's like, that's already the structure, I think, of a lot of our favorite fantasy stories. Like, I don't think, other than I'm talking out of school when I say I love all of the original trilogy of the Lord of the Rings movies. Two Towers fucking slaps, man. It's really good. Helm's Deep, the Ents, get the Emyn Weir, you know, Cirithungol, like it's just so good. Or you know, Osgiliath, right? Like within all of that, I think that there's a lot of really awesome archetypal fantasy that deals with a group of heroic characters spreading out across a wide world, tackling the same problem from multiple different vantage points. And it's a really interesting way to dive into this brand new world together. I couldn't be more excited to bring you into the West Marches universe.
It's pretty cool, y'all. I've played a few games long ago in the West Marches, and this being an opportunity to bring that kind of, I don't say disparate, you know, group narrative, but being able to hop across those perspectives and see how they intertwine, and the opportunity to have separate experiences before the opportunity to cross paths again and see how they've changed in that interim for better or for worse.
Yeah.
And how that changes dynamics, possibly even cross-pollinating, and, you know, there's a lot of cool things that we discussed in fleshing this out that made it a very exciting new format with the conceit that, you know, I've been running a table of 7+ players for a very long time, and that's already all too many players.
Combat it is tough with 7. Coming up with a challenge rating for like 4 like high level characters is challenging.
Yeah.
7? Woo!
Yeah.
Woo!
Yeah.
I'm with you. I'll also say too, experience in West Marches as well. I have a ton of experience in West Marches. For many years as a kid, when I was like truly learning to be a dungeon master, like age 12 to 17, I was running 2 games a week in the same shared universe with a different table on Saturday and a different table on Sunday. I was playing all day Saturday and all day Sunday for years and years and years. And then when I was in college, I ran a game at my summer camp, the Wayfinder experience, shout out Wayfinder. which was everyone who was at camp that wanted to play got to play, because you don't feel like kicking people out of the table. You're at camp. We're at a big group scenario. So I had at final count 42 players in that game.
Dang.
42 players, and so many people wanted to play so often that they would play as multiple characters in multiple incarnations of that world to get to go on multiple adventures. And one time my buddy Connor Gillespie ran into one of his own characters, and I was running so many other scenes that I asked him to go sit in a corner and run a scene of himself talking to himself, and he put tube socks on his hand and played his characters. He played his characters. He almost
high level in this campaign will eventually.
He really talked himself into a corner. He almost rolled initiative, but I think he got a deception off on himself and walked away scot-free.
Oh my goodness. So to jump off also what you've been developing here, how do you, for what parts of homebrew are you excited to incorporate into this, both from player facing and your own ideas for how the world of Aram&aacute works?
Well, it's very, very exciting. Number one, I'll say we have the absurd privilege to be working with Chris Perkins and Jeremy Crawford on Campaign 4. So if they make something, is that homebrew? I don't know. It's crazy. It's really nuts. They're so crazy good and smart. It's staggering. But there is some homebrew coming. Mm-hmm. I don't want to give any spoilers, but what I will say is I think there are some new subclasses coming. There are some new character like backgrounds and feats and things like that coming. New spells, specifically for this campaign setting. And there is one new global rule, a rule that affects the entire world, that I am very excited about, that has to do with the nature of a world that, let's just say, really, with all these various PCs running around, really doesn't have chosen ones. There's not anyone that has to survive, and that's very exciting.
It's going to be fun. Are there any particular challenges that you either had previously when running West Marches that you're excited to tackle and circumvent here, or things that you're excited to also show why the format isn't as scary as others might think?
There are challenges for sure in a West Marches game, but also there are challenges in tabletop as a storytelling medium writ large, right? Mm-hmm. I'm sure you've experienced this as well when you're like, I'm telling a classic fantasy story where we can't see what the villains are up to.
I don't know what you're talking about. I didn't realize that was as much of a frustration until we got around to the animated series, and I was like, thank God, I can put it somewhere. Okay, yeah, get on my notes.
Yes, totally. So like, there are always, I mean, like any medium has challenges. It doesn't matter what you're working in, scripted, non-scripted, actual play, dance, whatever your medium is, there's going to be challenges, and the challenges are the fun. That's the source of the creativity. So the challenges for West Marches are really exciting. The thing you're solving is how to keep everybody playing together, and that's a great way to solve that. What are the challenges? Logistics, managing so many people all over the world and timelines and stuff like that. And the solutions that we've cooked up across production departments, talking to Danny and Jared about lore management, how we deal with synchronicity and timelines, how much time do things take and move together? Are there any parts of the world design or lore that we need to be aware of in terms of how it might impact being able to tell this story with these different perspective groups in it? Mm-hmm. All of those questions, far from being stressful, are actually exciting because they prompt really interesting creative decisions in terms of how you're going to handle them. So I could not be more thrilled for the type of story we are telling here. I just a minute before we went live, I was talking to Marisha and Steve and Kyle and Max all about a specific problem or challenge to solve about the tables, and I think the solution to that one is going to make people so fucking amped. Like, again, every challenge is a way to make the story even better. So I'm so excited.
And one more question that definitely has come up as far as like us when we were developing this and confirming it, and people have wondered what was the main reasoning for going to D&D 2024 for this campaign?
Oh, moving up to 2024.
Yeah.
I think that there was a long conversation about specifically that one, and I think we were advised very well and logically by Jeremy and Chris, which basically came down to player comfort and tool sets. And I think that is the main thing, that we have a ton of different players at the table, all of whom are playing, brand new characters. There's a lot of storytelling to happen. And I think that they made a number of points all in a row that essentially laid out the path that was available with this rule set specifically in terms of what was setting up the players for the most possible success. And I think that they had a very persuasive argument.
Yeah, it was great conversations. We've both been so steeped in the original, 5th edition for so long. It was almost like a reticence to step away from something that we were so familiar with.
Or even just simple clarifying of how much of 2014 is backwards compatible with 2024, where you're like, oh, I don't want to lose all my favorite subclasses or all of my favorite, look at all these character options. As a guy who, but for actual play, would probably still be playing 3.5, which was so splat booked by the end of it that it was like, the character, I think I ran a high level 3.5 combat that it took 6 hours to resolve one number count on an initiative tracker.
Jesus Christ.
I say it like it was a problem, but I loved it.
No, 3.5 is some fun shit. Well, here, we'll start getting some more community questions here.
Yeah.
So we can chat with you guys about this. Jeannie asks, Exandria started as a small town by a swamp before growing into what we see today. Where did Aram start?
The death of the gods.
Variety.
It's a really, I think that's a really awesome thing, is you looking at the origins of Exandria, which I got into with you doing a lot of research for Divergence and thinking about Craghammer as the beginning of the stream, Stillben as the beginning of the home game, and this sort of inward out modality of a world that got to grow and flourish very much like this organic blossoming thing that got to be cultivated over time. One of the things with Aram that right away I was sort of like, this will be starting in the 10th anniversary year of Critical Role, and we will hit the treadmill while it is running at top speed in terms of the production, the level. You go see that new set, the idea of me coming in and being like, oh, this new set, this is the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. It's a dungeon at the edge of town. It's got kobolds. So I felt like I needed to come with something a little bit more than that. I think that a lot of Aram started with wanting to be in conversation with Exandria, and Exandria's story very much continues. You guys will be revisiting Exandria forever. There's a million stories left to tell in Exandria, but in terms of taking having a departure in campaign 4 to visiting another world, there is essentially the story of the 3 main campaigns in Exandria, even for myself on just a personal level, of feeling like I got to do a little cool thing with Calamity, Downfall, and Divergence. It felt like, I don't know, there's a certain degree when something is I feel like you put finishing touches on something and you go, oh, that's really perfect. I know I've got to come back to this sandcastle. There is more to do here. But damn, it's really cool right now. Can we just admire this for a second? Mm-hmm. Even for my little mini campaigns, it was a thing of I would feel really reticent, especially after the end of Divergence with, you and Liam in that scene. I was like, that's good. One day I'll, fuck it. If there's a Schism series out there somewhere in Exandria, yes, I'm down. I want to do it. But I'd like some time to let that just be a finished thing.
Absolutely.
But I think that Aram started as something that was an ode to you, to Exandria, an ode to epic high fantasy world building. I said that I wanted Aram I said, tell me how campaign 3 is looking as it's wrapping up, because I want Aram to start as a reflection or a mirror of like a different choice made with the relationship to divinity. And then honestly, a lot of Aram&, the very first thing that started in Aram with me was the idea of I don't want to spoil anything, but like about specifically, I thought a lot about Tolkien and Middle Earth, and I thought about specifically a vision of a proud orcish revolution. And that's really what occupied my mind in dealing with the history and ramifications of that. And a love letter to everything I love about orcs, and how I see them heroically in my mind's eye. That was a big part of it. And then everything spilling out from there.
Hell yeah.
That was where it started.
That's a pretty good answer. I like it.
Hey, thanks, man. I appreciate it.
That one down.
Appreciate it. This one's from Nathaniel Dunader. Speaking of Tolkien, for Matt and Brennan, what excites each of you the most about what Perkins and Crawford are contributing to the world of Ahriman?
Well, I mean, beyond just having their guidance overall within Darrington and all the cool things you have in the future there, when it came to this, collaborating with all the players and as we were building our characters and where they sat in the world and moving to 2024, if anything didn't quite suit the creative concepts of what we wanted to do with these characters, to be able to just ask them.
Yeah.
Just go like, hey, I want to do this. Can I do this? And they'll go, shoot me an email. And then they shoot you one back and go, made it.
Yeah.
Which is wild. I'm so used to having to homebrew my own stuff for so long and then be like, I hope this doesn't get torn apart by Reddit. You know, it's to have the pipeline to incredibly talented, more or less like parental, progenitors of the largely beloved system edition has been such a boon when it came to being able to hand over ideas to them and see how they want to iterate on it, how we can throw some ideas back and eventually come to a really, really cool, conclusive bit of homebrew.
Homebrew. Yeah, it's so amazing. There's also, I think, something really great with them in terms of like their facility to see a problem before you see it. Like I remember talking about some global rule stuff I wanted to do with them and just immediately them being like, oh, so how's that gonna, like, the lag time between when you say an idea and when they've translated it to the experience of players at the table is 0.00. It is an instantaneous, their facility with that. I mean, they're just, the amount of respect and admiration. It's just really crazy when a name you've been seeing in the covers of your favorite books for your whole life jumps off and is like shaking your hand and being like, oh, what you got planned sounds cool. And you're like, you're the guy from the books. You're the guy from the books.
It's very unique. We have this next question here from The Scowler. Asks, Brennan described Ahriman's similarities to Exandria and its complex relationships between mortals and gods. What about this theme inspired you to continue exploring it in a brand new setting? You touched on it a little bit a moment ago, I think.
Yeah.
But what is it that primarily was the key to taking that thread and kind of building around that?
I think what'll be really fascinating for folks in this setting, like what prompted me about that? Well, it ties back a little bit into the thing I was thinking about. It was ideas that we explored that you and I talked about a lot in Downfall and leading up to doing that 3-episode series. And it also had a lot to do with, I think, when I was thinking about you have this idea of the orcs and their relationship to like a Sauron figure in Middle Earth. And the thing I always felt when I look back at that myself is you go like, well, the orcs are Sauron's greatest victims. They have been taken by this evil force and made captive. And so the idea of what if the orcs figured out a way to say, fuck that? What if instead of hobbits figuring it out, it was orcs figuring it out and being like, yeah, I don't know if you've noticed, we live in an ash-choked poison wasteland. I'd love a nice cup of tea as well. I think we all would. Let's kill this motherfucker. And seeing that relationship played out, brings that level of like, if you allow a god of darkness and war and conquest and suffering, how can that be allowed? And I think that there's, we get into it with that sort of like modality of the gods as family as they are in Exandria and the complexities there. I think in Ahriman it's a different setting in terms of exactly how kind of nasty the gods were, and also that, without doing any spoilers, that Ahriman doesn't necessarily have a like betrayer primes divide like Exandria did, but there is a reality where essentially it becomes very clear that the parts of life in Ahriman, also I think something that we got into a little bit with Ahriman was the idea of like, how do things remain the same for thousands of years, which is what they do in Middle-earth. Thousands and thousands of years. This sword is 2,000 years old, 4,000 years old. A 4,000-year-old sword on Earth would be unusably bad, right? But for our purposes, it's like, oh, the gods kept it in a state of stasis. So if you want change, what sort of change will the gods allow? And in Ahriman, the answer is not very much at all. And so sometimes mortals say, actually, we need change like we need air, even at the cost of chaos. And that's one of the big themes that I wanted to explore.
It's a good question, yeah.
Love that.
This is next one from Super Nerd 23, it looks like. In a new world where the gods are dead and gone, what does being a cleric or other divine class look like, Brennan?
Hell yes. This is a great question. And I'll say too that like a lot of what you're going to see is a world like, as we tell a story about a world where the gods are dead, one of the things that's going on in this world is that they don't come up a lot. I know it's funny when we talk about it, but like this is 70 years after that, people have moved on. And what happens is what rushes in to take that place. Ahriman is a world that has plenty of warlocks. It has plenty of people that are going out to find answers or truth or power from other sources if they can't get it from divinity. I think there are a lot of clerics in Ahriman that we have, I don't think we have too much about it in at least the early episodes, but there are clerics that are trying to form direct divine connection to domains without the mediation or intercession of a personalized deity. And of course, the answer is, does that work well? Like, is it possible to draw a strength of conviction or belief just from the idea of the Forge or Tempest or something like that without having it personified in a person? And the answer is not a clean one. It's like, oh, well, the benefit of drawing our power directly from the concept of order itself is that we don't have the petty grievances of a personalized deity to thwart us. And when I'm feeling really sad and scared, I can imagine the depersonified concept of order wrapping me in its warm embrace. So in other words, there's not clean answers. It's not that there's a hard judgment call on the fact that that this revolution was mistaken, but rather that the cost of chaos is high, and the cost of making great change comes with tumult. And so divinity in this world there are also a lot of druids, huge resurgence. Druids have lots of answers. Tons of people are like, they go like, yeah, nature has always had the divine in it. Everything is tapped into the divine. Our entire natural world is tapped into the divine. So you see a lot of druidic, the old path people having a connection to reincarnation rather than a focus on afterlives. Is a big part of the answer to this world without personalized divinity. Lots of answers and a lot of strife and conflict around who is going to be trusted when you have all these different answers competing. What are we going to do about these afterlives? Where'd all these souls go? Where's Gam Gam?
You don't have to worry about that. It's going to be fine, right?
Yeah, for sure.
We're going to have 3 episodes, and we're all going to have a party, and then it's done.
This one's from Lucas. Lucas asks, how excited are you to be going from the person who has had to corral the crazies for so long to being able to be a crazy for someone else with the other amazing storytellers at the table? Matt, you don't got to corral shit.
That's not true. It's mostly true. No, it's great. I'm very excited. I've wanted this for a very long time. In fact, I didn't really like do the math until recently. I'm like, the last time I meaningfully played just a player in a campaign, like a longer running campaign, was 6 or 7 months long in the late 2000s. I played my dwarf fighter named Crodden Grimthorn, who became had Brawlers Guild figure in Taldore. But even that was a short-lived campaign. And before that, I don't think I've ever been I've never been a player in a long-running campaign. I've always been the GM or been short-run one-shots or like short-term stuff. So this is truly my first time to be a player in a long-running campaign that'll go more than 6 months in my life. So that's very exciting to me. The fact that
that's so fucked up. I'm so happy. That's so great, man.
I'm very grateful, genuinely. And like, it's, you know, there's many reasons why this transition for campaign 4 was important. To your point earlier, there's just so much going on and so much creative attention that's needed in so many places. It felt like the right time to take a step back and let you have an opportunity to take this grand vision of something that you've talked about wanting to do for so long, and be able to not just facilitate and support that, but in doing so, selfishly, get to have a space where I get to finally play alongside all of my favorite people on an equal level of collaborative storytelling, not as the storyteller, but as just a part of that piece. And the way that I get to watch them create such magic as these characters they live in for a prolonged period of time, and get to journey with them and just sit in that space. It's an aspect of, not just as an actor, but just as a tabletop player that I've always enjoyed but never been able to truly like sit in. And live in for a full story. And so, you know, as much as this is, an exciting opportunity for something new and fresh, for me, it's also an opportunity to kind of finally enjoy a facet of this game that I haven't really had a chance to yet.
Man.
So thank you.
It's the fucking honor of a lifetime, man. It's so sick. It's so great. I love it too. And like you're saying, to be like being a dungeon master, it is so deeply gratifying. You wouldn't do it if it wasn't this gratifying, right? Mm-hmm. But there is something about the little, I don't know, there are these little moments that you have doing it for so many years of like, people get up and they're talking excitedly about the session and they're smiling, you're smiling, but they're putting your dice in your bag. And there's these little moments of, even on a very small level, of that screen as separation, that to hear the joy and enthusiasm in your voice about like, no, I'm running side by side with my friends on this adventure together. And especially for friends you've been playing with for 10 fucking years, man. It's so gratifying and exciting. My hope for everybody, but especially for you, is that by the end of campaign 4, you and your character will have gotten to run at least one gamut with everybody. Like a full, because that's the thing, is people know we're starting with this soldiers, seekers, schemers tables, but the future is long and exciting, and who knows what's going to happen. And I don't expect these tables to remain static. I think there's going to be a lot of kaleidoscoping over the length of the full campaign.
It's going to be so cool. And like,
really exciting.
And on top of being able to play at the table with like the people I'm playing with for 10 years, like, I realized the very first time I ever played with Abria at all was doing Pirates Leviathan with you.
Yes!
And that's the only time I've played with her as a player. This is my first time able to play with her both as player characters at the table. Luis, I've been playing with since before Vox Machina was a thing. He was part of my home game when the campaign I was running before all this kicked off with all my voice actor friends. And so I've been looking for so many opportunities to play with him again, and I'm glad everyone got to see how awesome he is when we brought him in for Calamity. And you and him just, oh man.
Bam. I love Luis. I went and got coffee with Luis because it's one of those things where it's like, we were both like first day of school. Like, I hadn't played, like, I had done the Elden Ring one shot, and then I was going to come in and do Calamity. And Luis, I played with you guys before, but not on camera. Yeah. And so we were meeting for the first time to be like, I'm nervous. Are you nervous? What's going on? And for that unfolding thing, immediately I was like, just the way he talked about these games, where no one is having more fun than Luis Carrazzo, and he is so deep in a love of storytelling and deep emotional truth, where you see for him, it's like for some people, play is serious business, and Luis Carrazzo plays serious business.
Absolutely.
And it's fucking awesome to watch.
So fucking cool. We're just gonna keep gushing about the rest of the new cast too, because so hang back for a second. This is important. We're gonna talk about because they're great.
Love Fist.
I mean, Robbie Damon, you guys, for bringing him in for campaign 3 and getting to watch you love him as much as we do. And due to story and schedule, not able to have him with us the entire time, this was an opportunity to fully, meaningfully be like, no, he's not a guest. He's part of the cast.
Yes.
We wanted it as much as you do. And now he's here. And he's dope, like, especially since his experience with campaign 3, knowing what he's in for, and has been thinking about the character that he's bringing to the table on this in some ways for a long time.
Yeah.
And watching his exuberance and depth and intensity, and like, I want to be this, and this is I cannot wait to bring this to the world. It's so cool.
He is so good. What he is pulling off, even from just the first couple episodes that we've recorded, we've recorded the first. I can say we've recorded the first 4 episodes, right?
Sure.
We've recorded the first 4 episodes, which is the Overture, which is this crazy thing we're doing where we're introducing all the characters, all mixing and matching in each episode for the first 4 episodes before we sort of split off into like the campaign of the different tables. But the Overture is a fun way for, basically like an overture and orchestra, for you to meet all the people and see what the deal with the world is. Robbie, what's that? Oh, is that got announced today, right? Sort of? Oh, am I wrong? I thought they got announced today.
No, the Overture was in the press release. I think we're okay.
I think we're okay, right? But I got you. Okay, I'll make sure. Let me be clear. Anytime you invite me here, I am a liability. So the what was I say about Rob in particular? What he's pulling off with this character is so fucking exciting. And I also got to fly next to him and his amazing wife on the way back from Gen Con in Indianapolis. We talked the entire plane ride. That's so... If anyone who's had a long plane ride, you know that that's crazy. He's so fucking cool and nice and interesting and brilliant, and so is his wonderful partner, and it was a delight.
He's cooler than all of us.
He's great.
He has to be destroyed. Alexander Ward, longtime friend. It's such an amazing performer. If any of you haven't had the chance to see him in LA by Night, his Ghostlight vampire show that he GMs, that he more is a storyteller for. Mm-hmm. He's such an incredible performer and storyteller in his own right. And in the opportunities that we've had to bring him into this house to show his craft, each time he's knocked it out of the park in such interesting and sometimes unexpected ways. And then when, him bringing in such a challenging character in Divergence.
Yeah.
And a character that could have very easily, for most less experienced and less skilled performers, been easy to slide into one note, to fall into the background. He brought such perfunctory depth and chose his moments in such an incredibly powerful way that it turned into... it just showed, us definitely, more than, even we were kind of expecting, all of you as well, just how good he is at that table. And so him coming and joining us for this campaign is even another opportunity to not just play with him, but just see what cool shit he comes up with.
Alex is a player where I take stuff off of my running game document that I felt as a GM I would have to handle at some point, because he handled it. You know what I mean? Where it's we need, there's a moment where that character is going to need something, and he'll turn around and be like, character moment for you. And I'm like, God damn, Deputy DM, all right, great, perfect, thank you. Less for me to do, love that. Yeah, he's so fucking good. Whitney Moore. Unreal. My first time playing with Whitney. Y'all are not fucking ready. What a joy. What a true joy and a privilege. So funny, so talented. She is a a depth of conviction and emotion she has such a clear vision for the character, and it's so exciting. And I'm scared because I'm going to spoil everything. So I'm not going to spoil. You are in for such a fucking treat. Whitney is so great.
Yeah. You haven't crossed into Tom Holland yet. I think you're all right.
Great. I am Spider-Man.
I can't wait for you guys to see it. Whitney's such... Whitney I love because, for many reasons. She's a dear friend and a wonderful person. She's also very much like... She's a goblin person. She's very much, what kind of chaos can I sow in the world? Just as a human being. And that I adore that. And then you get used to that for a while, and then you have the opportunity to see her perform in something, whether it be actual play or any of her film work, and you're like, oh, right, I forgot. You're also an extremely talented and giving performer. Yes. And that combination has definitely led to such a unique and wonderful new color brought to the spectrum that this table is kind of painting with. It's gonna be fun. I can't wait for you guys to see.
Abria Iyengar.
Abria motherfucking Iyengar.
Abria Iyengar. The way, the truth, the light. I'm gonna be very clear about something. I barely want to walk to the end of my driveway to get my mail without Abria Iyengar by my side. I don't want to do shit without Abria Iyengar, let alone I can't for any good DMing that I've ever done. I just like I just ask people to go back, look at Calamity, and you tell me what that story is without Laren Koramar Sealy and a blight spell and an astral ley rite, and I if there is a degree, like I said about Alex a moment ago, there not only is she a unparalleled performer, actress, storyteller, writer, every single part of the things that I have to do behind the screen becomes not only easier, but effortless when she's at the table. I have never tossed something from behind the screen onto the table and not had her catch it. It is literally having... The way she plays is she's so fucking generous as a player. I remember her when we did the 7 for Dimension 20. She wrote out these flow sheets she wrote a flow sheet for Izzy for playing this like high level cleric character of like so generous with the system and the mechanics. And there is no player who is more generous to their fellow players. There is no player who is more generous to the dungeon master in terms of all of the layups that are provided, everything. It's just constant alley-oops across the board. When Abria's at your table, you can't fail. And I love her with all my heart.
Guys, I can't wait for you to see some of this, even just as what we've explored so far in the world. Abria's bringing some fun texture to this story.
Once again, and I will say too, Abria, I can't spoil.
No, you can't say anything.
But Abria and another player, they did something that you'll find out about later. That was just a good choice, and that's all I'll say.
Yeah.
I hear whispering like that's a spoiler.
Yeah, we'll call it there. Fireside. That was a very long-winded answer to your question, but it was also a lot of things we just wanted to talk about because all these people are amazing.
Yes.
Fireside asks, is this going to be a good jumping on point to bring our friends into the Critical Role fandom?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
This is brand new world, brand new story, brand new characters. You will start, like, I think we're going to have some explainers for, like, basic lore stuff, but, like, my internal lore document for the world is, like, still a manageable number of pages. Like, you know what I mean? Like, this is a great point to jump off. Like, this place, there's a lot of big picture stuff that got nailed down so that we could sort of, like, hit the ground running. But, yeah, you're going to start knowing about as much as we know. It's an awesome place to get started. It's a world that is still revealing itself to us.
Yeah, the entry point to this series is the entry point for all of us. While we all kind of built our characters around the lore that was presented as we were developing the campaign bit, there's still such a vast part of it that is us experiencing the world and learning and understanding and grasping its ever unveiling kind of fog of war with you, the audience, at the same time. So we're kind of all on the ground floor of this together.
It's so goddamn exciting. This one comes from Brock Turt.
Brock Turt.
Thanks, Brock. Will Brennan be a... Brock, what time period are you from? Will Brennan be allowed his almonds? Brock Turt, you're from the 1800s. You can't fool me. Will I be allowed my almonds? And the answer is, they couldn't stop me if they tried. Am I wearing the almonds shirt? I think I am. That's me, making girl doll shoes, eating almonds, not enough shirts. Bird facts.
I think we actually have, since we started prepping for this in our kitchen, a good quarter of our entire cabinetry is just bags of almonds now, and I'm kind of not joking. It's like you know, you have to shovel coal into the steam, you know, the engine of the train to keep it going.
Back. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, we have 2 PAs that are on almond duty at any given point in time.
Choo choo.
You know, he takes them to multiple orifices.
There you go, exactly. And an almond suppository is a delight for the cast and crew.
This next question, oh god, is from Why You Always Lion, asks for both, what goes into your process of creating a big bad?
A villain, as they are sometimes called, an antagonist. What goes into your process for making a big bad?
For me, first, it's finding a concept of villainy. Because that could be either just a terrible, cruel, vicious person that thrives in being that vicious, that is just a bad person that does bad things. That is always a fun thing in a classic kind of like, you know, good versus evil scenario. Deciding whether or not this is a commentary on, you know, a misunderstood or a person who has been victimized by a system and as such has become part of that same system and is now an example of how do you rally against that sort of victimization? Is there salvation in being able to, you know, to help somebody, or are they too far gone? Like, these sort of themes, for me, set the tone for the kind of villain I want to create, because it also sets the tone for the story and the campaign ahead of you. So those are my first bits, really.
Yeah.
And then the second part is, I had a cool idea for a villain when I was driving, and oh, is that time? Thank you. Didn't mean to keep you at bay.
Hi, America.
And the other part's just like driving in the car being like, man, it'd be cool if a guy had like a giant red eye that shot lasers, you know, like then marrying those two things together, like pick one from one cabinet, one from the other, and be like, kiss.
First of all, I love when you make your little guys kiss. And number two, man, I know it's a bit. These almonds are hitting the fucking spot, baby. That is what the doctor ordered. Ooh, a little smoky, a little salty. Mamma mia. It's what the body needs. Now, God, I'm enjoying these almonds so much that it did knock the thought I was having right out of my head. What were we talking about?
Big bad.
Villainy! I'll get to you later. What is the nature of evil? Evil is kind of like an almond. There are wrinkles and a little bit of texture, and it's crunchy. I think that I will say what's really exciting about this setting and world is when there were, in the earliest conversations we were having about Campaign 4, the thing I was really excited about was, as you do every time there's a novel creative challenge, is how do you as a creative individual adapt? And what I have always loved and admired about Critical Role is the feeling of like inhaling so deeply in the richness of a fantasy world that you feel like your lungs are expanding. And that comes from a feeling of a world that is truly limitless and that has all of these sandbox options to it, of really like, anywhere you go, yes, I will have NPCs that are up to things. The world is dynamic. One of the things I've always loved about Exandria, the first thing was like, oh, this is an explanation for why there's secret magic shit in a bunch of dungeons everywhere, right? The history of the Calamity, the Age of Arcanum, like all of that stuff. And for Ahriman, so in terms of this, I am employing a very different strategy with Big Bad to honor the things I admire the most about this table, which is I don't know who the PCs are going to determine is their Big Bad. It is a big, wild world with a lot of shit going on. And the desire, the joy of being able to actually not just throw a trail of breadcrumbs, but just scatter big fucking loaves of bread across the world and say, you decide what the Big Bad is really fucking exciting. It's a big part of like, so I think for me, a lot of it is looking and being like, what are the most dynamic centers of villainy that are going to put somebody on someone's radar for some reason as they move organically through the world, right? It's sort of like, so for me, the thing that's exciting is I'm not making a big bad. I'm making a lot of bads, and the PCs will determine which ones are big. And that's really exciting.
I love that. This next question from Geeky Craft asks, for Brennan, which group would you choose based on playstyle? Soldier, Seeker, or Schemer if you were a player?
I love all my children equally. I love all my children equally. No, I actually do. I love all, like, the truth is, DMing for these playstyles, I'm equally as excited to DM for every single one. I think if I were going to pick one, that, like, if I was sitting here as a player getting invited, Schemer. I think Schemer is the one, because that's a type of play style. I mean, when you came into Ravening War, I made my nasty little radish man. Because I think that, but also, God, Seeker is good too. What is the truth at the heart of the world?
No, Schemer's good. I mean, many of us have had conversations about, like, I think I told your mother, actually, when I first met her, I said, thank you so much for raising your son right, because if not, he could have been the most terrifying villain in this world.
I still got time. The fat lady's not singing yet. This next question comes to us from Melanie. Thank you, Melanie. Truly, Brennan, how are you and Abria finding the time to do everything at D20, Critical Role, Worlds Beyond Number, and a baby? The answer is a million amazing people who are not me. That's really it. Anytime you see, I'll say that. So, like, by the way, so yes, campaign 4, October 2nd. So goddamn exciting. We're gearing up to start shooting another Intrepid Hero Season Dimension 20. I get to be a long-form player in the space-based campaign that Abria is running long-form style over on Worlds Beyond Number.
Hell yeah.
And family life is a delight and a joy and the thing that lights up my heart each and every day. Anytime you see someone like myself, where you're like, boy, that guy's doing a lot. That's not me. There's 20 people in a me shape. It's my incredible, it's Rebecca Slater. It is all the amazing crew and cast over here at Critical Role. It's the amazing crew and cast at Dimension 20 and Dropout. It's the amazing crew and cast at Worlds Beyond Number. It is it's like a huge collection of people that go into making that possible. That are like, there's just it so is not just me doing it all. It's so about all the other work that everyone is doing to basically throw me in a wheelbarrow and deliver me around to different places where I have to show up and do dragon voices. And that is the answer. The way this all happens is brilliant people who are doing amazing work not on camera.
I need a Rebecca.
Yes. Shout out to Rebecca Slater, the best coordinator in the business. Rebecca, I'd be dead without you.
This was from Luke. With the shift towards a West Marches-style campaign with 3 tables of distinct themes, will each table solely go through its own individual arcs over a few episodes each? Or will there be an overarching plot involving each table or even all tables?
Ooh, this is great. 3 tables of distinct themes. Each table solely goes through its own individual arcs for a few episodes each. Overarching plot involving each table. This is a great question. So, Luke, the question is, yes, there will be an overarching plot going over all the tables. what that overarching plot is, I can't tell you. That's what we play the game to find out. I have in my head what the scenarios and situations facing our different tables are at the start of the campaign. You don't want to show up to the potluck empty-handed, but also what a defeat of the purpose for me to have a like years-long thing in mind when what we're doing here is the players are making choices and they're going to tell the story. So yes, overarching plot, but primarily what we're really doing here is playing to find out.
Alex, we're not confirming a plot. You shut up.
Plot confirmed. I'll be dead in the ground before I get accused of having plot, of using plot. Spoilers. Spoilers. Events occur in sequence, creating meaning.
No, but it's an interesting thing just for DMs out there to also understand. Like, you know, you can have ideas for like, this could be an interesting direction it could go.
Yeah.
This could be a thing that I could keep in the back of my head that if we ever end up driving this direction, I have some ideas for this that I could then involve and incorporate. But the joy of this is so much is established immediately at the table every time you play that to try and set that sort of long form plot in advance is sheer folly.
Yeah.
It's gonna, and then you're just setting yourself up for a lot of disappointment and headache.
Totally. And I think too that there's like the closest thing I think that we have to plot like early on is just that people, I think people did a really great job for campaign 4 in crafting characters that have internal struggles, and some of them have external struggles, you know, like, and I think that's a really exciting thing. For me, plot is the momentum and force of a character on their journey, how much velocity they have as they're moving forward through the world. So these characters are rich people who got shit that they want to do. That's all the plot that we need to start out with. And I think that it's like, but for my purposes, I think, yes, the actions of all of the tables in an ideal world will feed back into each other, but I'm excited to discover on what kind of timeline. Maybe these tables will make the decisions that send them so far afield that it will take a long time for those consequences to come back and touch each other. Or maybe they'll get shit so fucked up so quickly that they'll all be up in the mix like a bunch of, I don't know, like taking the different, you know, Two Towers gangs and throwing them into a washing machine together and being like, oh, it all went bad right away. Shit. We're all involved. God damn it. I don't know. It's so exciting to find out.
Sam wants to ask you, Sam Riegel, who's your favorite player?
Great. Sam, I think that there are some people that are tied for my favorite player. I would say my favorite, tied for first place is Matt, Abria, Luis, Alex, Whitney, Robbie, Laura, Travis, Ashley, Marisha, Liam, Taliesin. Am I forgetting anybody? Am I forgetting anyone? I think we're okay. Okay, we'll move on. Yeah, great. Aegis asks, I'm a DM who wants to run a big West Marches game myself and get a bunch of people involved. How I go about introducing peers to my homebrew world and get them excited about it. Aegis, if you've made a homebrew world that's like, how do you get people excited about the big tray of cookies you baked? Man, they're gonna be excited, I think. Anytime someone comes like, hey, I put effort into a thing that I invented to bring us joy, I'm like, yeah. If a friend showed up and was like, hey, I want to have a party about a painting I drew, I'd be like, what? Insane. That sounds awesome. Yes, that sounds great. Let's do it. You've put your own innate creativity into something beautiful.
Yeah. And if you really need to, just tell them there's free pizza.
Free pizza goes a long way.
Yeah.
Hell yes. I love that. And I'd say maybe a good piece of advice for GMs is like, always remember that the point of your homebrew world is to aid your characters in creating their person. It is not a bug that your player's favorite part of your world will be the person that they're playing in it. I know some GMs are like, but what of my lore? And like, that's great. I love lore. And when I'm a player, I usually play characters that want more lore. Yeah. But just remember that people's gateway into your world is who they're going to be. And that's a feature, not a bug.
Yeah.
So always remember, like, how is your homebrew world creating opportunities for people to play characters they're interested in playing?
That's great advice. So next question is from Jen Shazam. If there's ever a Campaign 4 live show, would you consider having 3 separate tables around the arena? And what are Brennan's feelings towards zip lines as a means of traveling between tables?
Now you're talking my language, Jen Shazam. At first I was like, you need to shut the hell up. But then we got to the zip line part, and that feels pretty cool. Actually, if we're doing zip lines, what's the thing that Pink was doing in those concerts in Scotland where she was...
I think we can get that situated.
If we do that, and you guys don't warn me when I get shot over to another table, so I'll be like a fearsome dragon, like, and fly through the air.
Mercer, write it down.
There we go.
No, okay, no, but that shut down immediately. Well, it reminds me. I remember I did a game at a convention that was like kind of pseudo DMing for a bunch of people at con. This was like 12, 13 years ago at AnimeCon, before any Critical Role stuff, and as part of it, we had multiple tables playing the same kind of... They were all playing the same kind of adventure, but they were all coordinating different parts of it. Cool. And so we had different tables with different GMs that were running their separate groups, and then I was acting as kind of like an arch GM that would come through and throw things into each table. Oh my God. And like something would happen over here, and they'd tell me what happened, and I'd come over and say how it influenced this table. And then eventually, like, I had a creature, a dragon, that would, like, go in and terrorize one group, and they do a little damage, and then I move up and go over to this table and attack them there.
God, that's so sick.
It was really, really fun. So, zipline.
Zipline. I think there's some fuckery on the horizon. I'm really excited about it. This question comes to us from Tria Elf 9. Matt, what are you most looking forward to about getting to play for a whole campaign?
I'm looking forward to having less panic when I get the calendar alerts that we're shooting, and I don't have anything prepped.
I love it.
Like, ever since we started this, it's like, we're shooting today. Oh, I have to... Oh, I don't have to do that much today. That's a new feeling. So that's nice. No, but like, genuinely, man, I love GMing. I truly do. It's my great joy in life. It's where it's my love language. It's how I get to tell people I really care about them and I want to give them something they can experience. Being able to come to this table and surprise my players within the narrative and have there be long-reaching benefits or consequences based on that, just from a solitary perspective, is such a fun and unique thing. I don't. The thing I'm most excited about. There's many things I'm really excited about. I'm excited to be amongst my friends and getting to watch them. To watch them create this story together and being able to interject and throw my ideas and inspirations in, not as an all-seeing eye of the world, but just the same level they are. And I'm really excited to explore this world that you've created. Like, it's been so fun and so awesome to watch you Unchained run and create this, and even just what we know about it is already so enthralling and exciting, and I can't wait to explore Ahriman, like, meaningfully.
There are so many exciting things afoot. It's just hitting me now that I'm like looking up the mountain of what this adventure is going to be, and all of the things we don't yet know are made more exciting by how amazed I am by the choices that everybody has already made already. The adventure ahead looks very bright, my friends, and I cannot wait to share this world with you.
It's gonna be so fun. I cannot wait. Soon enough. We'll have more to discuss in the weeks to come. Unfortunately, I think we are out of time for tonight. If any of your curiosities and questions didn't get answered and as part of this, too bad. We'll have more conversations in the future as this all rolls out. But thank you so much for joining us tonight for this little chat, the beginning chat, I guess, of coming campaign 4.
Again, exciting and an honor beyond words. And oh my God, truly, in this moment, I am feeling that the question I have is it Thursday yet? Thursday, October 2nd, which is when you will see the premiere of Campaign 4. Welcome to Aram.
And for our friends who are watching on Twitch and YouTube, if you like this here, there's a ton more like this over on Beacon, talking about previous campaigns and campaigns to come. So you can check it out there.
I heard the next Fireside Chat will actually be with Marisha and Travis, so be sure to check that out on September 23rd, exclusively on Beacon. Folks, the fun's behind the paywall. Get in there. Get in there.
Only Beacon Bits can ask questions.
Oh, yeah. And the Beacon Bits, the members of our community in our Discord, are the ones that get to ask these questions as these chats as well. So if you want to come and contribute to that conversation directly, then please join us over there.
One of the questions made my eyebrows shoot up, and we didn't address it verbally on camera. You know who you are.
Well, thank you all so much for joining us. So excited for October 2nd. More things to be announced. Brennan, love you, buddy.
I love you so much, man. This is going to be I'm so fucking happy. Let's go!
Yeah. Have a good night!
Cha!